RV Educational Institutions, Shivananda Sharma Memorial RV College and ISR Initiative Video Lecture. The Sharma Memorial RV College, one of the premier institutes run by the prestigious RV group of institutions, has come up for students with a unique initiative to engage at the time of this unforeseen medical emergency caused by corona outbreak. As a social responsible institution, we would like to connect academically with students to overcome the gap of classes. Connection, I, Bharti N S, Assistant Professor in the Department of Commerce, has posted a PPT on the subject Banking Operations and Innovations on the topic Dishonour of cheque. Listen to the PPTs till the end. Do share and subscribe with your peer groups. Thank you. Yes, so far we have discussed about what is paying banker, what are the types of checks, and what is a cheque. So now we will be knowing about dishonour of cheque and grounds for dishonouring a cheque. So let's start with it. Dishonour of cheque. Dishonour of a cheque is a condition in which bank refuses to pay the amount of cheque to the payee. Whenever the cheque is dishonoured, the drawee bank instantly issues a cheque return memo to the payee banker specifying the reasons for dishonour. In the definition, it is clear that dishonouring in the sense the bank refuses to make the payment of the cheque given to the bank by the drawer. So here there are some legal reasons for such dishonouring of cheque. So we will further study about those reasons. So they are as follows. First one, funds insufficient or exceeds arrangement. Prevalent reasons due to which bank return the cheque unpaid. Sometimes you write the cheque against salary, which is to be credited on a particular date. In case salary is not credited or credited later than the date when the cheque is presented for payment, bank will return it unpaid. So we have to confirm that, and we have to maintain a minimum bank balance which has to be there for paying the cheque. Before issuing the cheque, this has to be taken care. In the case of overdraft account, the cheque is dishonoured with the reason called exceeds arrangement. Second point, the amount in words and figures. Bank dishonours the cheque if amount written in words and numbers are different to one another. In such cases, the bank can terminate the payment of the cheque and dishonour the cheque. The third point to dishonour the cheque is absence of payee name. In case the payee name is absent, then the bank can dishonour the cheque with the reason stating that the payee name should be mentioned and it is required to think that as a valid cheque. So next reason, signature differences. See, sometimes you forget your signature and what happens is we usually keep one normal signature for official things and the other one for routinely signing very short signatures. So you have to remember properly what you have signed in the bank and the same signature has to be maintained. If that signature is differing from one another, that cheque will not be valid. So they will dishonour the cheque. Next reason, the alterations or overwriting. See, once you are writing any cheque, you have to make sure that there is no overwriting or any alteration of information which you have already written. So this will be a reason for dishonouring the cheque. Here comes the next reason. So the next one is post-dated cheque. When the date written on cheque is not yet come. So that means the date is future date which is not yet arrived. Suppose you have written that the date on the cheque is 4th May 2019 but you present the cheque on 1st May 2019. So in this case the bank will not honour the cheque. So it will be treated as dishonouring because you cannot approach the bank before the date mentioned on the cheque arrives. Next reason, instrument outdated or stale checks. A check is valid for 3 months from the date written on the check. So if a check is presented after 3 months, so it is to be considered as a stale check. Bank cannot make payments for the invalid check which is outdated, and the reason will be mentioned as stale check or stale instrument, so it is unpaid and return it back. The next reason is payment stopped by drawer. So mostly the drawer stop the payment in case if he thinks the check is lost or stolen. In this case, bank dishonors the check and return it unpaid with the reason stating that it is stopped by the drawer itself. The reason, whatever the drawer gives, either he says it's stolen, either he says it's lost somewhere, he had signed it, etc. All these will be considered with a formal letter given for the bank. So nextly, typed check. As a general rule, if the customer draws a typed check because it is easily altered, then the bank can refuse for making the payment of that particular check. Next reason, dormant or inoperative account. If the account is inoperative, for a long term you have not operated or you have not done any transactions, then this can be, your check can be dishonored. Next, account number. If the account number is not mentioned in check clearly or it is absent, then bank dishonors the check. Next point, same branch. The same bank branch can make payment of a check where the customer has his account. If a customer presents a check for payment at a branch where he has no account, it could be a similar, his same bank, but it is different branch, then also the check can be dishonored. Next point, alteration or change. So when it is seen that the customer has altered figures, it could be date, it could be name, it could be amount, it could be any kind of alterations after drawing the check, but not legally attested it. If he has made some changes, but there is no particular proof that he has changed it or some legal documents to make it prove, means the banker will dishonor that particular check also. Next one, joint account. Some customers will have joint accounts and the signature of all the persons, like two people have joint account, means both the signatures should be required. It should be there. And if the check has not been signed by all jointly, the bank will not make the payment, and in that cases they will dishonor the checks too. Reason is when the payment is stopped, like in case the drawer asks the bank to stop payment and not to pay for a check issued. In that case, according to the instructions given by the drawer, the check will not be honored by the bank. Last but not least, the reason, frozen account. In case the government or court will order for a particular account of a particular person to be frozen and not to do any transactions with that, so the bank will dishonor all the checks bearing that particular account number or that particular person's account transactions. It could be anything. Here I wind up this particular topic. We'll be soon back to the college. I'll be back with another topic by the next time. Thank you for listening. Stay at home. Stay safe.